Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. Sorry, Rosie, but I just had to go ahead and take some of that old dead stuff off of this little plant so it could look great. And then, of course, I needed to clean around it just a bit. But there's still way lots that I did not get cleaned out. And I will get to that hopefully as soon as possible, waiting for my tests to come back so we'll know what's going on. And I did find my little doll, her little garden art piece that goes in this pot, and I'm thinking seriously about getting this little pot going. I don't always take out all the dirt and put new potting soil in, but I will take out some of it and give it a little refreshing. And then of course I save the soil that I take out of it too, because you never know when you might have a little hole in the garden that you just need to repair, and you can always use that dirt in other places, and that's what I do. Still have not had a really good rain, and we so need it, but I wish I could get all this out of here while it's dry. I don't know if I will try to do that today or not, but we'll see. I made a stop at Janie's this morning because even though all these little plants that I had picked out are beautiful, look at that. This is what I went to get, this beautiful diamond frost euphorbia, and I will put it with it, and just look how it lights everything up. These colors that are bright and beautiful just can look kind of drab without it, but you put that little white that acts like you just lit it up, like little tiny lights in there showing off the beauty of the colors. So that's one I went to get, and then of course I saw a few other things, lots of other things, but I only purchased just this beautiful little, I always want one of these mint colored licorice plants. I'm going to see what actually this little thing calls it. It calls it lemon licorice. So it's one of my favorites, and I have a hard time with it too lots of times. The things that I picked out are actually the things that I have a hard time keeping very long in the garden. As far as the calabachoa and the this beautiful little blue lobelia. So but anyway, I want to see if maybe I can get some of that in today, and I'll show you how it looks. Oh, and this was the other one, when I saw this little Tyrinia, which is another plant that never lasts so long, very long for me. But I thought this color looked so great up against this mint lemon color. Is there anything more beautiful than spring or a little child? Even though there's so much that needs to be done, just the feel of the atmosphere around you. And it's a little windy still today. It's been windy for days on end, but even with the wind and the debris, there's so much promise there, just like a little child when it's born. And as it grows and becomes more beautiful all the time and learns so much, and so much wonder, beauty and wonder. So I've got my little pots started. I worked up the ground. I put some more soil in this one. And I also did put some plant food in each one of them to give them a good start. This little one, I actually set these in here while they were still in the pot to get kind of how I wanted it. And I like that I have this one flowing out from both sides, and over on this side, if it should do well, and I hope that it will. And also the Tyrinia. I put on this side, and I may still get one more for this side, but I'm not sure about that. I may put something else there. So for now, this part is ready, and I will start working on the second layer. Doesn't it look pretty? Now there's the second one. The point I have it now, and I love this, but I probably will get another small lobelia if I can find it and put on this side also, or maybe on this side actually. Pull that one around so that it'll be surrounded by blue on both sides. And because I want these tiny little lights in more than just this one spot, I will clip off some of this and see if I can get it started around on the other side. If it doesn't start for me, this will grow back from the root, and I'll still have this pretty one here. So that's my plan now. There, doesn't that look good? Now if it'll just grow there and not just die there, but we're going to give it a try. And I'm thinking that now might be a good time to go ahead and put some of my little starts that I've kept all winter in glasses. I think this little strawberry drop coleus might be just the thing to put on that bare side of the top little planter. There, it looks great. And because my niece Lacey has found that these calabrichoa love to have these little red rock around their stems, around the bottom, like to mulch it with. So I'm going to do that and try to give it a good chance. I'm also going to put it around this. I think perhaps anything that needs really good drainage and doesn't like its little stem to be wet, but likes water on it all the time, just not drowning in water, that I'm going to try that on this. I have been doing that and it seems to help. And now I'm thinking for my bottom tier, I'm going to put this little Putranthus plant. It's a fuzzy little plant. It's very pretty. I prefer the ones that are variegated actually with white, but this is still pretty and it made it through the winter, so I'm going to trim some of it off and put it in rooting powder. And when I had this in the window, I also had this little alternanthera in with it, and I noticed how these look pretty together, and so that's going to be my plan for my bottom tier, to see what I can get done with that. And because this little coleus was just a paler shade of the same color as the alternanthera, I plan on putting that in with it also. So I clipped my little plants and actually came out with 4, but because I have heard or read that plants look their best in 3s or 5s, and I believe it's true, so I'm going to save one of them for another spot and put these 3 in this little bottom tier of this pot, or this little tiered container. And this, if you will notice, has a few little seed on it, so I'm going to also sprinkle those seed around and hope that they come up in this pot also. If not, when this little alternanthera gets big enough, I may take some clippings of it and spread them out around these green that are already in there. So there we go, our first container garden of the spring. I do need to get some more of that red rock and put all around all of it, just because it looks better, it keeps the moisture in better, and I think it'll be the thing to do. Also keeping it off of the stem so it doesn't get stem rot, so hopefully that will be the thing to do. I know already that I'm taking a risk in the plants that I picked for this little pot here, because my lobelia and my calabachoas, I never do very well with them. They usually go ahead and go away sometime in June or shortly thereafter. But I'm hoping I picked a good pot and a good spot, and that they'll just go ahead and live this year. You know, I have a habit of thinking things are going to live forever. Well, not forever, but you know, through their season, do what they're supposed to do. So, and that saying, I have a appointment with a heart doctor tomorrow, so they're going to tell me something. I don't know what we'll find out tomorrow, but you know, who has time for a heart attack? I don't know of anyone. Certainly not me. And please forgive me for being so facetious about the whole thing. I know that it's a very serious thing, and I know that it's all in God's hands, and whatever happens, He'll be with me. So I'm not really afraid, but I'm also hoping and praying that He gives me time to do those things I've been telling you even before I knew anything was wrong, other than I kept having birthdays and getting what we call older. But anyways, this makes me feel good getting this done, but you also know what that means. Once you get them planted, there's no more skipping watering. They'll need it every day, especially these little new ones that don't even have a root yet, some of them. But hopefully it won't take them long to build one, which is a whole nother story. How could something as tiny as a hair, you know, just build so many and hold like a foundation, like a concrete foundation? And actually, I probably will plant just a few zinnia seeds in this little pot too. Maybe some of the either bright red or pink, that hopefully will match too, like match this pretty little strawberry drop coleus, or even this Terenia. As a matter of fact, I'll definitely put one here right beside this Terenia, or right in the back of it, because I don't know how long this Terenia will last for me, but it may do great, so here's hoping. So this is what I have left, and of course this one is not for me, so we'll go to these others. This is my favorite concoleus, and just because it's my favorite doesn't mean I don't love every one of the others, because I do. But I'm thinking that it may look good in this little pot right here. That may be a good spot for it, and I hope it just gets bigger and more beautiful all spring and summer and the beginning of fall until winter comes again. I hope it just more beautiful every day. They can get gigantically big, and the leaves so big and beautiful. I just love them. I'm not sure where I'm going to put my redhead yet, but I definitely want her or him to be a star in the show. And you know, I love this little powder blue color in a plant. I just do, and since I've discovered the trailing one, I don't know why I didn't. I've seen it lots of times and thought, well, I like my pretty little yellowish one, lemon looking one that I just showed you that I put in the top of that other pot. It is my favorite color in a plant, but this makes everything around it look more beautiful. But I don't think I'll use it with these colors. My favorite colors to use this with are the more paler pinks and purples. So there we go. I put my concoleus in there, and I put several of the little clippings from my strawberry drop coleus in here, and I certainly hope they build a root and live there. And I know they look little and scraggly right now, but if they reach their potential, they will be as beautiful as that big cone coleus. They just fill out and trail over and get thicker and more beautiful as the season goes by. I'm not sure that I'm finished with this little pot actually. I think it would be pretty just like this, and I do want to give it room. I've been known to not give things room to grow because I like one that's stuffed full. But even that said, don't be afraid to wait, to look at your plant and say, well, I'm going to wait and see, because as you look at it and as it grows, you'll probably decide that, yes, I wish I'd have put more color in there. And you can just, I'm thinking I might put a petunia in there. While the foliage is beautiful colors and doesn't even need blooms, I still think some blooms hanging over this pot, as in the petunias or calabachoas, and I should know better than try too many calabachoas. I did that one year, and of course they all died, and I had to put different things in there. But this is a good start, and even if I buy some and they die, it will be pretty in here for a while. And if they are, I'll definitely get a shot of it for you. So now what's left is my pretty little blue cast licorice plant and my beautiful redhead coleus. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put those yet. Maybe even right here is a good spot, but I'm just not sure yet. I want to be sure that it gets some sun, because the coleuses in a lot of the burgundy plants, maybe all, just look like garnets most of the time. But when the sunlight gets on them just right, they literally shine like a ruby in the garden. So pretty. I also saw at Horse Creek Nursery a beautiful kind of coral rainbow color of a petunia that I might want in here. I'm not sure that would actually match any of my colors, but I'm not sure that it wouldn't be a pretty contrast in this pot. I think I can stop going back for last year's pictures now, because there's so many things happening right now in the garden, like these beautiful cherry blossoms. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.